Just put me in here and then I'll make it a white shoes. Honestly, in any book. Hello, my besties. We are back today. My name is Sophie, and we're going to be doing my May reading wrap-up. I did read 17 books of all kinds of different genres. We read some romance, we read some fantasy, we read some thrillers, I think one thriller. So I'm gonna talk about all the books that I read. I'm gonna give you my ratings on them. I'm gonna let you know how I felt about all of them. We'll see where it goes. I read The Lies of Lena, or is it Lena? I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna call it Lena. I read it with my book bestie, and we both really enjoyed it. Okay, so this follows a girl named Lena, and she is a mage, and she is secretly hiding as a mage because they are banned from the kingdom. They are honestly like banished when they are found out. So she's hiding with her mom. She meets this boy named Silas, and they have a good time. They become good friends, and then things just proceed from there. And this is like the before, and then it jumps to 5 years later after some events occur. I really enjoyed this. I will say I didn't realize, I may be stupid for this, but I didn't realize it was supposed to be a love triangle. And I should have, because there's two males on the cover. I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously not thinking at all. I was here for the vibes. But I did really enjoy this book. I rated this 4 stars. I did really enjoy this. I am excited for book 2, but I felt like the ending could have been done a little better, because the way it ended, it just didn't leave me like wanting to just jump right into book 2, which, you know, usually that's what you want an ending to do. You want it to have like a cliffhanger or something that like propels you into that next book, but this just didn't give it to me. I did overall really like the story, but like I was comfortable with the ending. I'm like, okay, well, I can wait on this and read other books, and then when I'm ready, I'll go back to it. So that would kind of be my only complaint. I really loved the characters. I liked Lena in this. I liked Silas a lot, and I liked our other MMCs as well. Like, how am I supposed to pick? All I want it to do is be a white shoes, which I don't know if that's where it's going, but that's what I want. Just put me in here, and then I'll make it a white shoes. Honestly, in any book, to be honest. I read Thrive, which is the 4th book in the Addicted series. This series follows Lily and Lo battling with her sex addiction and his alcohol addiction. They're both very flawed characters. They are very famous as their parents are very rich and own companies. So the paparazzi follows them everywhere. They can't get out of the spotlight. So basically anything that happens to them, everyone knows, because it goes to the media, and they're just constantly under all this pressure as they're trying to battle their addictions. Thrive was just a recap from Lily and Lo's point of view of Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower. So it wasn't my favorite book just because like kind of knew what was gonna happen. It was good to see Lily and Lo's perspective on like some of the things that were going on. We got to see their side of things, their opinions, and then there were some things that came to light that reading Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower, like, you didn't get that, so that was nice to know. It just wasn't my favorite book of theirs. One thing I do really like about this series is how flawed all of these characters are. They all have their own issues, and I feel like the authors do a really good job at putting the right light on their issues and not making it like an easy fix. Like, both of these addictions are hard to combat, so the way the authors write it, it's not just like it's gonna be healed overnight. Like, these characters, this series has spanned over years, and these characters are still battling their addictions, and I think they paint it in a very good way. It is still frustrating to see some of the actions that they make in these books. Like, don't get me wrong, Lily and Lo piss me off a lot. but they are written to be like very human, and they have very human decisions. So I do enjoy that a lot. Like it feels very realistic. Not that I know what it's like to be like a famous socialite, but to me it feels realistic. But this I rated 4 stars. And I continued my journey into Zodiac Academy. I read Zodiac Academy: The Awakening as told by the boys. So this is just a recap of the first book of Zodiac Academy, but it's only from the point of views from the boys, since we didn't get that in the first book. We just got Darcy and Tori's point of view. So this was very enlightening. We get to see that honestly Darius and Orion have been so down bad for them since the beginning, since they first met them, and I loved it. I loved seeing them literally yearn for these women that they don't want. But it was, obviously it's not my favorite book because it is just a recap of events again, but since I hadn't read a Zodiac Academy book in many months, this was good to like kind of jog my memory on some of the things that like started the series, and it helped me to like the male characters more because like you're seeing their side of things, and it makes sense like some of the reactions they get. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I rated it 4 stars. And I have been continuing my Zodiac Academy journey and have a lot to say, but not until next month's reading wrap up, since that's when I read the next books. All right, and I read something so very devastating, like it actually just brings like sorrow to my soul. It makes me so unwell. And I probably would have sobbed. And that would be Sunrise on the Reaping. Are we surprised? No. When this first came out, I saw how everyone was crying and rating this like 1 billion stars. And I decided to put it off because I just simply was not ready to be emotionally distraught. Now, we are here and I have read it. And it was emotionally distressing. I will say that I did not cry. I thought this was gonna make me cry, and it probably would have. But the fact is that someone decided to comment and spoil the ending of what happened on one of my posts. So that really was disappointing and annoying and irritating and all of the things. But yeah, so then I knew what was coming and was able to prepare. This story follows Haymitch. If you've read or watched The Hunger Games, I really love Haymitch. He's literally the definition of a tortured soul. Reading his book, you realize all the things he's gone through and how he's just been living with this for like 25 years is kind of insane. And this book was so crazy to me because you see how much importance this book has to the actual original trilogy. Seeing some of these characters pop up as their younger selves was crazy. Like, I did not know that, you know, some of the characters from Catching Fire were gonna be in this book, and now a lot of things make a lot of sense. Having that, you know, that previous relationship with them in the later books and movies did make me feel very, very sad for these characters. Knowing how their fate ends, knowing how they got to that point as well. Yeah. Overall, I love this story, but it was very sad and depressing. And then watching the movie trailer after for Sunrise on the Reaping has me in shambles. Like, I know I'm gonna be sobbing that entire movie. I better bring a whole box of tissues because watching the trailer, it is exactly how I envisioned in my head. So that's kind of gonna cause some issues because I do not need to see some of those things that occur in this book. This book was very gruesome. I I am distraught for some of the deaths in this book, because these are literal children, and you're telling me that's how they died? That's terrible. Anyways, 6 stars. No notes. Perfection. I would have loved not to know the ending before I finished the book, but here we are. I probably will reread this, and I kind of want to listen to the audio for it before the movie comes out. You know, just to really nail it into my head and emotionally overwhelm myself, but you know, that's fine. Then we have the Book of Asriel. This is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series. This follows a Morley Gray FMC named Diana, and she is a monster. She can basically turn into like a dragon type thing, but she's very like bloodthirsty, like drinks blood, is a killing machine. And she serves like this demon entity. But then it becomes a war between the gods and the monsters. So obviously that's written in the series. I don't want to like really elaborate any further because I want you to like form your own opinions, and I don't want to spoil anything. But you do meet this man named Sam Kiel, and he is quite divine. Like, yes, he is a god, so of course he's divine. He had me sweating. I will say that I was expecting more from this, though. I rated this 4 stars. I was expecting a little more because I've heard this is like god tier book, god tier series. I did feel like the writing was not the best during certain parts. It kind of felt a little choppy, or the pacing felt off to where I just wasn't like completely pulled in the whole time. But that didn't deter the story for me. Like, I still really enjoyed the story. I liked the world. I thought it was very interesting. I will still be continuing the series because the ending was crazy. I do like the characters, and I have an inkling of a feeling that the series is going to get better. So hopefully the writing gets better, because I have high expectations for book 2. I'm expecting a 5-star in book 2 because because of the way things are going. I know that there's 4 books out right now and still more to come, but we will get to it when we get to it. Then we continued our journey in the off-campus series. We read The Mistake and The Score. Starting with The Mistake, this is Logan's story, whom I very much love. His book maybe was not my favorite. I just didn't feel like as connected or attached to the story. I feel like I low-key love his character more in the show. I'm not gonna lie. But this was very short. I will say that one of the things that, it might just be Elle Kennedy's writing, I'm not sure, but I feel like she wraps her endings up like way too fast. Like, it'll be like this major issue, and then like it's done within like a page or 2. So that is a complaint that I have for like all the books that I've read for her so far, which is whatever. I went in not expecting too much because they were written a long time ago. I read The Deal, and that was super cringy, and the writing was not the best, but it was addictive, and I still had a good time. The Mistake was good, addictive. I just wasn't as pulled in as I was with The Deal. I didn't love the story as much in this one. But I rated this 4 stars still, or like high 3, low 4, still up in the air. It goes back and forth depending on the day. Then, so I did read The Score as well, which is Dean's book. And I love Dean. Dean is literally my favorite MMC of all of the characters in the series. I mean, I haven't read Tucker's book yet, but I just know Dean is gonna stay on top for me. I liked the story in this a lot. It's like enemies with benefits. I mean, they're not really enemies. They're just like friends-ish with benefits, but they're hiding and sneaking around everyone's back while they have their sexual relationship. I really like that trope in general, so I thought that was very fun. Now this one had a lot of emotional devastation in it, which I'm not gonna elaborate on because you just need to read it. The ending portion, like 3rd act, was sad. Although, just like, again, like the way things end, it's like the main conflict is handled in like such a little amount of time that it doesn't feel like a good ending. Like it just feels so rushed, and I don't like that. So honestly, I can't give this 5 stars. This is 4.5 stars. If the ending had been fleshed out better, I could have seen this being 5 stars, but I just can't honestly give it 5 stars right now. But if you haven't watched Off Campus, the show, I'm gonna need you to do that because I'm obsessed with that show. I can't wait for season 2. I love those characters so much. Then we read Never Ever After. This is a Cinderella retelling, but also has like a Chinese lore take on it. I found this to be very interesting. Honestly, the romance plot of it was very much a subplot, so I could see the Cinderella retelling part of it, but like that was such a minuscule detail that I can't like even fully call it a retelling of Cinderella because like it really wasn't, in my opinion. It like was pretty different. But I did enjoy this. I thought the story was very unique and interesting, and it kept me captivated. I would rate this about 4 stars, and I will be continuing. I will read book 2. I have Thorn Season. This is about a girl who is a princess. I think she's a princess. But she's also a magic wielder, and those are not allowed. So she is secretly a wielder, and like her family tries to keep that a secret. You know, I honestly can't remember anything else about it because, yeah, I was very bored. So when I am bored, I tend to not listen. And I listened to this on audiobook, and it was background noise. So I don't have much to say. All I can say is I did not care about anything that was happening. So do with that what you will. This is a YA book. Yeah, I didn't realize how YA it was going to be. This read very, very young to me. And like the plot was very boring. And I did not care about what was happening. I felt like the FMC was making stupid decisions. She was annoying. I don't have anything to say about this. So if you want to read it, go for it. Like, don't let my opinion deter you. It just wasn't for me. Like, it was very young. And I'm not going to continue the series. I rated this 2 stars. I read Direbound and Furybound last month. We'll start with Direbound. I enjoyed this, like, overall. I didn't think it was anything crazy. Direbound follows this girl. Her sister goes missing, so she decides to, like, join, like, the front guard, or whatever it's called. The front line, and, like, become a guard. When she does this, she gets bonded to a direwolf, which I thought that whole concept was very fun. I really enjoyed that. It reminded me of Fourth Wing in the Way, where like they go to training in school and like academy type situation, and get bonded to like the dragons. But like here, it was just direwolves. Everything else was overall pretty different from that, but just like same kind of concept. But instead of dragons, it's direwolves. Yeah, so she gets bonded to a direwolf, but like she hates it there. She doesn't want to be there. I felt like the FMC was insufferable. She just really annoyed me most of the time. Like, I was just always annoyed. But you know what? I was there for the story. The story was pretty decent, although I also did not like the MMC. I couldn't even tell you his name right now. The blonde one. Her boyfriend, I guess. But yeah, didn't like him from the start. That's all I'm gonna say about him because whatever. But the story is keeping me. I felt like it was a little too long though. There was a lot of points where it just felt like fluff, like we really didn't need that information. Now, the other guy, I really like Stark. Stark had me biting my fingers, like, he is delicious. I love him. I wanted her to be with him, but you know, we don't always get what we want. Book or Diary Bound, I rated it 3 stars, 3.75 stars, something like that. And I was gonna, I read this right before Fury Bound, so obviously I was going to continue. Now, was that a mistake? Fury Bound is just like continuation of the story. Like, if I were to give you any of the plot, it would spoil literally all of Diary Bound, so I'm not gonna do that. I thought the beginning was decent, and then I don't know what happened the rest of it. Like, I was bored. She was annoying. I felt like the FMC and MMC had no chemistry that they had in book one. In book one, like, the chemistry was gold. I loved it. But then book two, I was not interested, and it felt like these were different characters. I did not have a pull to them. I felt like no. I'm not gonna be reading book three. Unless like I hear that like the reviews are crazy like good and everyone's like, oh, this is so good, then I'm probably not gonna pick it up, because book two was just a no. Like, it was a disaster, and I know I'm not alone in that decision. Obviously, like, form your own opinion, do what you want with it, but I did hear that a lot of people disliked book two. So I'm curious to see like people's thoughts and opinions on book three. I just probably won't be one of them giving a review on it because I don't want to read it. I read Best Worst Thing. This follows a woman that is having infertility issues, and like her and her husband have been trying so hard like for multiple years to like have a baby. And then they finally get approved to like go through a surrogate. Things are working out finally. After she gets approved, she finds out that her husband is sleeping with the dog walker. Crazy, right? Yeah, so then she wants to leave him, but then because of like this whole fertility surrogate situation, like her lawyer's like, no, like you can't leave, because that baby is like, just like legal issues, like the law is probably gonna not give you this baby, because they're gonna see that you're like not stable, you don't have, she like doesn't have a job, doesn't have like friends or any, like she literally has nothing going for herself. Like her husband did everything. So yeah, it kind of just follows her going through the infertility issues and like her trying to navigate her way through like separation with her husband, but she's not able to get a divorce yet because like these legal issues. But then, I mean, let's be honest. So this book was okay. I was interested till the end, but like why was she making these decisions? Because during this time, she decides to reconnect with an old coworker. Like, really? You decide to reconnect with an old coworker of yours and then like proceed to fall in love? I'm sorry, but that is gonna be the last thing on my mind. Literally the last thing. I mean, to each their own, but don't you have other things to worry about? And you're still married. She decides to do all that amidst all these other problems she has. The decisions she was making were super dumb, and she continues to basically like string this guy along. Yeah. So she was super infuriating. The story overall, like, I thought it had potential. I mean, it did have potential. I feel like the story could have been better. But, like, I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't remember if I rated it. I think I rated it 3 stars because, like, the story would have been good. And it, like, kept my attention. But, yeah, the FMC, I don't know. She was going through it. Thriller I read last month, that was Forget You Saw Her. Now this is a prequel book to Ask for Andrea, which I really enjoyed that book. Like, I felt like it was a very different kind of thriller. If you haven't read it, Ask for Andrea is about it's from the point of view of 3 different girls that were killed by this serial killer. They're like ghosts. So there's 3 different ghost girls, and it shows their point of view, what they're doing like in their afterlife, because they're kind of just like roaming the earth right now, and they roam like the part that they were killed at, so they kind of navigate like what they can do as a ghost. Definitely some supernatural aspects in this thriller, and then they're also trying to get justice for their own deaths, so they can kind of follow around the serial killer that killed them, and they're trying to make sure that he doesn't go after anyone else. I thought this was very interesting. As for Andrea, very good. I suggest you go read it. It is very thrilling. But this is the prequel book. It's a prequel, but like it doesn't have anything to do with those characters at all. Like the title of the original book was called As for Andrea because like in the bathroom at one of the bars it says like, as for Andrea, if like you're having issues with like a male or you need like assistance, basically like so you're not getting taken to like a different place or like roofied or, you know, just a bad situation overall. But this is about Andrea, so like where the Ask for Andrea story came from, which honestly I liked this prequel book more than I liked the original book. I thought this was really good. It was very creepy and it was also very sad because, you know, it follows Andrea who gets killed and she was a child. It follows her mom, like her biological mother who had to give her up when she was super young, and like the police reached out to her asking for like DNA samples because they were trying to match her DNA to like the DNA of her biological daughter, but then she becomes super invested in trying to find her daughter's murderer. I thought the storyline was very fun. It goes between like the mom's point of view and then like her dead daughter's point of view as well, and her in like the ghost afterlife, like roaming the earth, trying to solve this or trying to help her mom solve who her killer was and trying to keep her mom out of danger. So I felt like this was a really good story and I really enjoyed it. I rated this 4.5 stars. We have I, Medusa, which is a Medusa retelling. I enjoyed this one. I didn't really know her story. Getting to read about it was very interesting. I think this was also YA. I rated this 3.75 or 4 stars. I felt like the beginning of the story and the ending of the story was very interesting, but the middle, I was like, I could care less. Seems to be an issue, obviously, with me reading books. Then we have Fever Dream, which is Elsie Silver's new book. I love Elsie Silver, so I have read all of her books. This is the first book in her new series for Emerald Lake, I think is what it's called, Emerald Lake. So this was about a professional bull rider who also happens to be Theo Silva's biggest rival. Theo is from her Chestnut Springs series, my favorite male, or his is my favorite book, Reckless. So this is his biggest rival, and then the FMC in this book is his younger sister. So that was fun, and she is like the location manager on the set of a reality TV show, much like The Bachelor, but it's like cowboy style. Guess who happens to be said bachelor? It is Emmett, who is the professional bull rider. So yeah, there's a lot of drama. And I loved it, and I ate it up because it's Elsie Silver. Like, what else I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna hate it. I feel like it didn't have that flair that her books usually have, so this one wasn't my favorite. I rated it 4 stars. Like, it was still good. I still enjoyed the story, loved it, had a great time. But it just wasn't, like, one of her top books for me. I am excited for the next books in the series though, because I think it's going to follow his sisters, and I really enjoyed their character in this one, so I'm excited to see where she goes with those. I read The Scattered Bones. This is a dark romantasy, and it's also very short, so if you're looking for a short romantasy, this is the one. And you can like never find that anywhere. It's short, it's only one book, like it's literally perfect if you're just looking for something short and easy but still want that fantasy aspect to it. This was very beautiful. This is a beautifully written story. Basically this girl falls in love with this guy, but stuff happens and he gets killed, and different parts of his body are scattered across the earth. And so she is on a mission with the help of a stranger to help find these bones. And she wants to find them so that she can basically put him to rest and like get closure there. And it goes back and forth between her like meeting the person that she fell in love with and who died, and like her trying to currently find his bones, and like, yeah, and then you eventually see what happened. But I just felt like this was a very beautiful love story. I really enjoyed it. I liked the ending. I liked how short it was, but even though it was short, like I felt like it wasn't missing anything. I could have like done with more just because I loved it so much. Like I wanted more, but they got everything that they needed to in this story, and it was just very beautiful. I rated this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I also read an arc for Worst Faking Idea. It is now released, so you can go read it if you'd like. This has fake dating. It follows two new step siblings. Like they're much older. I want to say they're in their 30s, maybe late 20s, but like no, I think it's 30s. Anyways, so they went to high school together. They didn't get along. He was like this really smart nerd, like super smart. I'm pretty sure he's like a millionaire now because like he sold his company or something. And then she is just this girl that he's had a crush on for forever, but like they just never got along, and like she would always push his buttons, but she doesn't know that he had a crush on her. And now like their parents just got married, and so now they're technically step siblings, but like not really, because they're much older and they never lived together. Like they're just step siblings in name. Anyways, they get put in a predicament to where she has to start fake dating him. And he goes along with it because he's had a crush on this girl for forever. And he's like, okay, maybe this is my chance. Or not even that. Like, even if it's not his chance, he's like, I'll do anything for this girl. Like, I really like her. I've always liked her. And so they start fake dating. And I just felt like this was a fun romance. I liked them together. I liked the story a lot. I did not expect to like this book as much as I thought I was going to. And I was thoroughly surprised. I rated this 4.5 stars. I super enjoyed it, and I suggest you go read it. I haven't had that much fun with like a rom-com romance in a long time. These were all the books I read in the month of May. It was a pretty good month, I would say, and so far June is going great. So I'm excited to keep you guys updated on that next month when I give you my monthly reading wrap up. Just make sure to like this video and subscribe so that you can see more of my bookish content. And if you're looking to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, I'm on Goodreads and Fable. I'm adding all those links in the description below, so feel free to do that as well, because I'd love to see you on those socials too. But I hope all you lovely people have such an amazing day.